So much just happened in episode 33, let's talk about it. So Doppio is helping this man Bruno cross the street, right? Bruno at this point then lost all of his senses because why he is dead, as we already know. R.I.P. our man's Bruno. You may be wondering why I'm smiling, I'm gonna tell you in a second. Seeing this man Doppio use Bruno for his own liking, bro, was so infuriating, especially when this man Mister was across the street and saw this man Bruno. I know he saw him, he looked at him. Why was he taking his time walking across the street? I gotta give respect to Diablo for WIQ and telling Doppio that Bruno didn't know who it was, that he thought he was tricked. But then we see our homie Polnareff, bro. See, this is why I said in my last video I was willing to give Polnareff a second chance, a second opportunity, because from part 3 and towards the end I didn't like him, but now he's elevated, he's grown, he's become something more. His maturity and his IQ was above that. It's like 10 times the level of Metallica, bro. Like the W interrogation he was having with Bruno and the mysterious figure, which was Diablo. That man was on his P's and Q's, but there was only so much he could do. I mean, he's literally in a wheelchair, he's crippled. What is he going to do? His interrogation was holding up for a good little minute. The thing that was cooking me was the fact that Giorno and Mister and Trish were all just sitting there waiting, doing nothing. Why aren't y'all moving around? Why aren't y'all splitting up? Why haven't y'all divine some type of call out for when y'all find who y'all need to find? Nevertheless, though, the homie Polnareff is standing 10 toes down. He is back in my good graces, bro. This man is making sure this man Doppio does not move, until eventually he did. And when he went up those stairs, I thought it was over. I thought that man Polnareff was finna get clout, but that man had blood dripping from his finger. I was like, why did he just cut his finger? Is he Aaron from Attack on Titan? Is he finna transform? No, this man was using it as a tactic to track time, bro. Who knew Polnareff had it in him? I wish they would have shown what happened or what Polnareff did after he fell and Diablo had pushed him off the mountain, bro. Cause the thing that slick made me mad was, why didn't he try to find Jotaro? If he would have found Jotaro, he could have found Josuke, and Josuke could have healed him, bro. And they would have all banded together, and they would have been right there at that Coliseum together, standing on straight business against Diablo. It also makes sense why the arrow was there in part 4 and the significance that it plays. That's why Jotaro was there. And this man Polnareff was fighting until his absolute last moment, trying to get away with the arrow with Silver Chariot, but he failed. He didn't make it, and it's okay because he tried his best, bro. Like, he was actually making WIQ plays, and I love that for him. I feel like he's like 100 times better now than he was back then. Speaking of back then, Polnareff said that this was 12 years later. Part 4 took place 8 years later after part 3. If it took place 8 years later, that means it was 4 years later in part 5. Not 2. People were saying 2 in the comments. It's 4 years later. That's simple math. So that means Josuke and Koichi, they're like 20 now, bro. And I gave my RIP as I saw Polnareff die. We will forever love him. He is one of the greatest OGs ever. And I was like, what is going to happen next? What are they going to do now? Tell me why one of the coldest figures come out of the shadows, emerging with the most aura I have ever seen, bro. Had this man Diablo shaking in his boots. No Woody from Toy Story, bro. And he had me on my toes and tippies, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, who is this? Is this Polnareff still alive and evolved? Did Silver Chariot unlock new abilities? Or is this an entire new person completely? Just like I can't wait to see, y'all can't wait to see my next reaction, and y'all gotta stay tuned for the next update.